Pathetic. Deadly. The Detroit ambulance system has failed, and everybody knows it, including the top dude. Remember last summer when the mayor got a blood clot? Instead of waiting on an ambulance, his handler stuffed him into the back of a security vehicle and rushed him to the hospital.
You have an officer having a seizure.
Almost a year ago to the day, the brother of City Council President Charles Pugh, a cop on duty, suffered a heart attack.
Your ETA for police.
Instead of waiting on an ambulance, his colleagues jammed him into the back of a squad car. He died.
So I want people to know that my brother cared about Detroit, cared about his job.
Last July, a kid was shot in the head. People called, but an ambulance never arrived.
They just left my son to die on the porch. People that got kids can relate to somebody that's waiting for help and never comes.
Last week, 2 little boys caught in a house fire. A firefighter calls dispatch and asks where the ambulance is.
True, we have a second child. Second child needs transportation also. Has a squad hold a position.
Message received. You're reporting 2 civilians down. Squad 4, hold your position.
Central, this is Squad 4. We're going to transport this child. What's ETA for EMS?
We're requesting EMS. EMS was not requested. We're requesting EMS now.
Central, we're on road with this child. We're responding to Children's Hospital.
12 minutes later, still no ambulance. The firefighters take the boys in their truck. One lives, one dies.
We did everything that we could. And there's still a little boy who's hanging in there. Just hope he's going to make it.
Listen to how just criminal the ambulance system in Detroit has become. The closest rig to the fire had broken down just a few minutes earlier.
We were at Henry Ford Hospital less than 5 miles from this run.
Why didn't you go to the run?
Truck wouldn't start. It was dead. Alternator blew. Battery was dead.
That left just 10 ambulances for the whole city.
Well, I think actually that morning that left 9.
The next closest ambulance is not sent to the fire, but rather to a man with back pain and blood in his stool.
Romeo 32. 32, go ahead. You calling a false CPR?
No, you're responding with Medic 3 to 2081 West Brand Boulevard between Dexter and Wildemere, Sobriety House, 43-year-old male, back pain, blood in his stool.
Another ambulance is called, but dispatch never asks its location. 14 miles away. A lifetime.
5281 turnout, 7495 from distance.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I cried about it. You know, I'm a father, dude. The kid deserved what he should have got. He deserved better. You know, fire, I would have done the same thing. I'd have put him on my back and carried him to the hospital in the amount of time it took.
By the time firefighters got the boys to the hospital, the ambulances were still en route, so they were canceled.
Affirmative Squad 4, you're transporting them to Ford Hospital with 2 children down and CPR in progress.
That's affirmative, CPR and oxygen. We're working on the kids now.
These little boys didn't have an ambulance. How are we going to fix this? Who's going to fix this? We need somebody to fix it. Now. We can't have another little kid. We can't have another kid die. No, that's it.
The required response time for an ambulance in Oakland County is 6 minutes. In Western Wayne County, it's 8 minutes. In Detroit, there is no required response time according to the state. Apparently, you don't deserve one. So we wanted to find out how long it does take to get an ambulance in Detroit. So under the Freedom of Information Act, we requested all the records for the month of July, August, and September of 2012. Now, sources in the department told us this stack should be this high, but they took some out apparently. You know what else? Not one of these runs is over 19 minutes. And we all know that's simply not true. So according to this partial list of documents, what's the response time? About 12 minutes. That's what they told us a decade ago when the department was running 30 ambulances a night. And tonight, we're getting 10. 10! We did a ton of these stories, and 2 years ago, Fire Commissioner Don Ossa was brought in to fix the ambulance system.
January at the latest, we're going to have 22 new ambulances on the street. We're going to partner and we're going to make it better. Promise you.
But nothing's gotten better. It's gotten worse. This being Detroit, the money for those new ambulances fell through. I arranged a $6 million loan.
It's been played up in our media. There are other lending institutions that are now showing interest, so I want to thank the media for helping with that.
You're welcome, Mr. Mayor. But Detroit, I know what you're thinking. Promises, promises, but I'll make you another promise and I'll keep it. I'll stay on top of it until we get those ambulances. This being Detroit, that deal fell through. So the dispatch is in disarray, the rigs are broken, and people die. State Representative Rashida Tlaib has had enough. She introduced legislation in Lansing Tuesday calling for a full investigation into response and management in Detroit's EMS system.
When I'm being told by the head of the local EMS board, Dr. Addis, oh no, it's not a problem, Rashida. It's 5 or 7 minutes, or it's the average is this minutes. But then you don't hear that. You don't hear Rashida, EMS came in 5 minutes. You hear 20 minutes, you hear 15. Sometimes you hear they didn't show up at all.
For years, Dr. Jenny Addis was the medical director for Detroit's EMS, and according to the Detroit News, she still is. Dr. Addis is also medical director of the Medical Control Authority, which oversees Detroit's EMS. The doctor did not respond to numerous calls for an interview. Nor did Commissioner Austin, nor Detroit EMS Chief Gerald James. And that's too bad, because I wanted to let him know that Fox 2 has confirmed that the FBI and the State Attorney General's office has launched an investigation into the department for fraud. Now, allegedly, the Detroit Fire Department has been sending ambulances, lights, and sirens to minor events like bruised knees and twisted ankles. That makes them eligible for Medicaid reimbursement. Now, this all the while they've been blaming the citizens for using the ambulances as a taxi service, and that, allegedly, is how the department's been making its money. Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor, the ambulances! Sir! I tried to tell Mayor Dave Bing personally, but it fell on deaf ears, and he motored away in his own private ambulance. Mr. Mayor, we talk about the ambulance, sir. Nothing from the mayor. Detroit, you're on your own. In downtown Detroit, Charlie